Today I sat down with my coaching student Yerzat, who tried starting Amazon in April and within 2 weeks inevitably quit out of just frustration of ungating and problems finding products profitably. He came to me at the start of July trying to give it another go, and on July 26th he made his very first sale, and 30 days later, now in August, he's done close to $20,000 since getting his very first sale. If you still feel like you're stuck in that early stage of Amazon and can't get through it, then you're going to take a lot of value from what he has to say because he was literally just there 40 days ago. Now, selling $20,000 your first 30 days is very unheard of and it's not common, but this is what's possible for someone that is looking to really scale his business up and take things to the next level quick. I'm very excited for you guys to see this one, so without further ado, let's jump into that call. All right, everybody, what's going on here? I am here with my student here, coaching student Yerzat. He's been able to scale up his business extremely quick, so he's going to share some insights, what helped him get there, challenges he's faced, kind of how he's balancing Amazon with working other jobs and stuff like that. So I'm excited to have him in here. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi Dave, hi everyone. Yeah, it's I feel so I mean Dave helped me a lot with this business and I feel so good that the numbers it was really shocked me initially and I didn't expect this number. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to touch on that because I remember so you started with me earlier. We'll touch on that in a second here. But before we jump into that, real
Yeah.
quick, when did you make your first official sale on Amazon? Do you remember? It was like a month ago.
No, so actually I started in April and at that time I joined your course and I started to source products. But the products I wanted to sell, it's always like I need to approve to ungate it. And some of the products I even ordered, I got the invoice and I tried to ungate, but failed again and again. I kind of like, okay, I think I need to stop. I don't want to spend more money and time on it. And I told you, right? I said, thank you. And I don't think this is for me. I can't. It's really frustrating to, you purchase 10 units, some of them are 100 units, and you can't get approved to sell it. And I closed my store, Amazon store. I closed it. I started with my individual account. And later, so I really appreciate David. David told me, yeah, of course, Yerzat, but I still give you access to all my courses. And so I closed my store, but I would still spend some time to look at Dave's video. And I think I told myself, I really gave up so fast. I didn't even send any products to Amazon. And I also had a session with Brian, right? And Brian also showed me how his business started and how he's doing now. And also he suggested me you should do with LLC, not individual. And I think in June, I had this thought, okay, I need to start again. So I connected to David. I said, Dave, I want to buy your unlimited course. And I think this time I'm really serious. And and Dev had several Zoom sessions with me and helped me with how to engage the products, how to source the products for early stage. Because for early stage, when your store just set up, a lot of products you can't sell. So you have to find the products you can sell and also have good profit. And he helped me with that, how to use Kepa to find those products. And I think that worked. And I sent my products in end of June. And initially, I didn't use Optimize. It took a long time for Amazon to receive and check in. So really, my first sale started on July 23rd or 24th. It's end of July. And the first day was, I think, first day was $700. The first day sale was $700. I was, wow. I sent Dave, I'm like, is it real? And I had so many questions, Dave. So where can I see the payout money? What is my net profit? So yeah. And now it's been one so from July 30, it's like 1 month. Last 30 days, my sale is $16,760. Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy because I remember when you came in and it was more in like the beginner kickoff plan, and it was
Yeah.
just kind of like, here's the information, but obviously like the auto approvals, getting products in the store, that's the hardest. And I'm glad you had that session with Brian. He was able to kind of run you through that and get you back. And then when you came back to me, you said, Dave, I have some money. I want to do this. Let's get this thing
Yeah.
going. And that's what we did. And look, I can give you the information, but you acted on the information. You went, you bought the products, you kept sourcing in your free time. No matter what strategy you use, that still takes time. And, props to you because not everyone will do that. So you're clearly dedicated to it. You had the money, you bought the inventory, you followed the daily spend, and 30 days later, almost $16,000. And that's insane. That's not very normal. That's not common to see that for anyone watching this.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it goes without saying, obviously auto approvals in the beginning. Are you noticing now that you've built some sales, especially maybe like that first couple of weeks, once you started to get some sales and inventory in, were you noticing more products actually become auto approved for you to sell?
Yes, I think what I noticed is like after my sale reached 1,000, and also I didn't have any violations, my store is healthy, and then you can see a lot of auto approval. Some of the products, like one of the product I purchased, in April, my first time I
Mhm.
purchased 100 unit. And I tried several times, tried to ungate and failed. So after my sale reached 1,000, I'm like, why don't I try it again? I tried again and it's auto approved. I'm like, wow. But still, you need to work on it because Amazon wants to see you have like consistent seller, like
Mhm.
you always sell products on time and you have good sale and also don't do anything against their rules. I think that can help your store to auto approve and to have much higher healthy scores. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember one of the things we talked about, because that was a big point of topic on that first Zoom call, was approval, because that's just that was the issue you were facing. It was approval. I was like, let's just trust this. Let's get some inventory and more approvals will come in. And I think I even told you, I was like, don't even try applying. See if it's approved. If not, put it into a list and look back at it in the future once you make some sales. And that's what you did. You built out your list. You had products to buy. So that's for anyone that's watching this that's still brand new. It's, you just know that sell what you can sell, build some sales, and more will get approved. Just don't ever stop sourcing. Which kind of leads me to my next thing I want to ask you is actually sourcing, because that was another issue, right? You couldn't find products in the beginning. You were doing these methods that you see online, and then what was
Yeah.
the method of sourcing that really started to click, where you actually started?
So, do you remember the one Zoom session you taught me? Look for the sellers has less than 5 reviews. And I copied all of this seller's ID and I have a Word file. I have like 10 pages of them and I separate them to different groups. And also the most important thing is I only check the products the price is always stable. I don't buy the products like price suddenly high and suddenly very low
Mhm.
because I feel it's kind of risky. Even though with that product you always use the lowest price to calculate the ROI. If it works, then I think you can buy. But if it doesn't work, I don't take that risk. Yeah.
Yeah. Analysis. I mean, you're looking at like the low points, making sure that we're always staying profitable. And I
Yeah.
guess, to sum it up, Keepa, right? Like Keepa is really the only tool that we've really needed to utilize to source, because there's so many different things we can do with it. Whether we're looking into brands or trying to build new products out, looking at products that are shrinking in competition. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing we can say is like when you're buying things, try and buy things with the offer count coming down, with shrinking competition, because this is not only going to be more likely to find profitable online today, but it's going to
Yeah.
stay profitable. You're not going to have to worry about tanking, which is a big issue people have, is they source with SellerAmp and they don't pay attention. They kind of like brush it off. And I was the same way when I started. I didn't, that's why my margins the first year weren't the best. It's because I didn't really look at it. But that is the most important thing, right? It's
Yeah.
offer count falling. So yeah, I mean, kind of going with this, I know that you do videography as well. So you're balancing a lot of things at once. You're doing Amazon, you're doing this, you're doing that. What is your daily routine, or I guess weekly Amazon like work related? Like what are you doing for Amazon on a daily or weekly basis? And how do you kind of balance that with your other work?
Yeah. So in the daytime, I have like a lot of editing works, and also sometimes I need to film some videos. So usually I do Amazon in the evening and night. And initially, I spent a lot of time to source products. But now I'm kind of sticking to several items because they sell fast, like every
Mhm.
month at least 300, 500, some of them 10,000. I just stick with that and reorder again. And I think that is for now, I think for what I like the money I'm investing, I think that's enough. But later, if I have more money, of course, I need to source more products. So usually I do in the night. Like initially, well, like I had 500 units, 1,000 units I ordered. I need to sit there to label them. I
Yeah.
remember sometimes I worked until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. just to
Yeah.
label the products. Yeah, but now I just need to reorder the products really profitable and sells fast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. So obviously upfront, a lot of time to find the products, and of course
Yes.
for you is probably a lot less time than someone that is using just outdated methods of sourcing. You had good methods of source, find the products quickly, easier than most people, but it's still a learning process. You still have to learn how to read the charts, how to look at the items, which websites have these deals, where these come for the best prices. But this is a really good topic that you brought up is it's a lot of work in the beginning, but once you have your base and you're reordering, you can really ride the wave with your best products as long as you're using seller board and you're making sure you're profitable and they're staying stable. So, and this is what it looks like at scale too. You know, when you scale to a certain number, like right now, I know you're close to about 20K a month, which is insane how fast you've done it. But, you know, let's say month 4, month 5, now you're doing 50, 60K. Obviously, you
Yeah.
add these new products in, and then you're
Yeah.
still kind of riding that wave of those best products that you've come across. So it's a continuing thing.
Yeah.
Once you get to a spot that you feel comfortable at and you want to stay at. I think next thing that we'll need to do for sure is probably VA, right? Are you considering doing VA pretty soon here?
Yeah, I didn't. I need to do some research. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I'm.
well,
Yeah,
that's one thing too with VA. So I was going to mention. So whenever you are ready for the VA, you let me know. We'll set up the application, everything, and then we'll. My VA, personal VA, has been helping some students also in the group just train up. So we're
wow.
trying to automate the whole VA process as best as possible. I think you're ready for that. I usually recommend about 20K months for VA, and that'll definitely buy back your time, especially if you're looking to scale up some more here. Right.
Mhm.
So I guess that's my next question is what are you looking to take this to in the next 6 months? Like what scale? What's your goals with Amazon for the next year?
To be honest, I don't have. I didn't think about it yet. But eventually, my goal is I can have more. How to say? I can have more time that I can use for travel
Mhm.
to spend time with my family. That is my like. Eventually, I think that is my goal. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Time freedom, and that's what I'll always say to anyone that's here is like this Amazon business is a really good business for cash flow. It's for freeing
Yeah.
up time. In my opinion, this isn't a business that you scale with arbitrage that you're making millions a year, right? We're not building some new revolutionary brand, but it's a simple business where you can cash flow if you set the systems up properly to free up that time, which is great. You can focus on
Yeah.
other things, your video business, anything else that you have going on. So
Yeah. And also, I think this is a good business. Like later, I'm looking for let's say a warehouse. Someone else can label the products. Then I can manage the business in anywhere of the world. Like as long as I have the internet, I can work
yeah,
on it.
that's true. Yeah, exactly. I mean, e-commerce, internet businesses, exactly. It's a lot more hands off. Of course, in the beginning, it's hands on prepping, but even that too, prep center, outsource, warehouse. There's a lot of other options, but yes, definitely, there's people that run this just from their computer, which is great. So, I guess last question for you because you had success very quick. You actually had success quicker than I did. I did 10K my first 30 days, and you're at 16K your first 30 days, and it was a lot hard. It was a lot easier when I started. We didn't have to approve things. It was like Frontier Co-op invoice approval and grocery, and I'm good for things. So
Yeah.
you had success very quick. How does that feel? Because I remember you were very discouraged in April when you were talking April, May, and then now just to see the success really quick and build off of it. How does that feel?
To be honest, it's very complicated. You feel good, but also you feel anxious because you want to keep this number,
Yeah,
just keep it, and also how to make it higher.
yeah,
And it's also kind of also stress, you know. Yeah, like for instance, now I have I reorder some products and I need to wait for the delivery. I'm like, why? Come, I want to
Yeah.
send to Amazon. I want to keep my sales going, you know. So this is the thing I need to work on it, you know. It really business sometimes it can be stressful, but we need to manage ourselves. At any situation, you need to know how to handle it and try to stay calm. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still working on it. Yeah.
No, for sure. That's a perfect answer. That's a beautiful answer. It's definitely there's always stress in business. Always, it doesn't matter how stable it is, and that's the reality of running any business. Is there's always things that come up. There's always things that you need to kind of put out the fire. But yeah, that's the reality for anyone that wants to get into it, which I'm sure you already know based on your video business and stuff. So yeah, I really appreciate you for coming on here and just sharing some tips for people because I know that's the biggest issue for new sellers. And you were literally just a brand new seller, and it just
Yeah.
seems like you picked this up so incredibly quick. So really appreciate you for coming on and just sharing these things with us. Anything else you want to say before we jump off here?
Uh, I just want to say, like, mm, sometimes we just have some ideas and don't think, oh, it won't work. Like, oh, I don't have that money, I don't have that time. Just, you know, we use what you have in your hand and start from little, you know, like the gradually, I think you can reach the goal. And I'm also at that stage trying to, you know, to make the numbers higher. And I hoping in the future I can become a bigger seller and like you, Dave, to share my experience to more people. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd love to eventually reconnect again here, maybe in like 6, 7 months, and see kind of where you've gone. Because I know it's up
Yeah.
from here, right? You got plenty of capital going into business to scale up. So I'm very excited to see the next couple months here, and maybe we'll chat again here, and we can share this again.
Thank you,
All
Dave.
right.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Yeah.
you for talking with us. We'll talk soon. All right. Take care, everyone.
Yeah.